Welcome to Mike. This is your host, Micah Cannon. Of course, I am back. In case you didn't see it, I did put a poll on my Instagram, my main page, asking whether people wanted to see the GOAT conversation or the Lakers offseason. And let's just say the Lakers offseason won by a pretty wide margin. It was like 67 to 33%, something like that. So what I'm doing today is giving you that video. But before this video starts, make sure to follow me on Instagram, check out my website, check out my other podcast Really Harris's podcast that I feature on, sort of. It's called The Breakdown. Check that one out on YouTube, link in the description. Same thing with the Instagrams. And without further ado, let's get right into this video. The Los Angeles Lakers offseason. Let's just say, going off the season, all the Lakers did was win a championship in 6 games. They only lost like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 5 games in the playoffs in total they lost. It was a pretty good season for the Lakers. I can't say I didn't expect it. I knew the Lakers were going to be championship contenders and quite possibly win the championship. But, yeah, now let's talk about their offseason. One thing that I think the Lakers must do, and you guys can let me know about this in the comments below, but one thing I believe the Lakers need to do is get a third option, like a superstar level almost third option. Doesn't have to be Kevin Durant or anything, but I think they need Devin Booker. That would be my number one thing. I would want to trade for Devin Booker if I am the Lakers, because first, he's young, he can develop with Anthony Davis. He's only like 23, 24. Like, he's not a very old player at all. He still has a lot to go. And, you know, the bubble last year. But who knows? Maybe he wants to stay with the Suns, because the Suns went 8-0 in the bubble last year despite not making the playoffs. The Suns still look like they have a bright future. It looked like in the bubble that they finally had put it together for what seemed like an eternity. After an eternity of disappointment, seems like they finally put it together. So who knows, maybe he wants to see how that plays out. But a guy that I know who won't want to see how it plays out, I know that guy's name is Bradley Beal, who is looking for a trade. He's been in quite possibly every trade discussion that there is, and he's also one of the best players in the NBA. He's a pure scorer, averaged 30 points a game last year. I think that the Lakers could go for him too, because he can also develop with Anthony Davis. He's a pure scorer, but he does everything at the guard position that is needed. He gets rebounds. He can pass the ball pretty well for a shooting guard. Of course, he can score the ball, facilitating, shooting. Bradley Beal does all of it. He doesn't have quite the best size, but he's proven himself, and that's what I like about the Bradley Beal trade. Bradley Beal has definitely proven himself to be one of the better shooting guards, or guards in general in the NBA. So maybe that's a possible trade. And he's only 27 years old, the same age Anthony Davis is. He's going to get a big contract year with Anthony Davis. So who knows? Maybe those two can form another duo, and it could set Los Angeles to be great even after LeBron James leaves. Another thing, Anthony Davis, in case you haven't heard the news, he plans to opt out of his player deal to get a bigger contract. So his $27 million contract right now will go up to probably $32 million if he decides to re-sign, because the team, I don't know if they have his bird rights, but I know they have the rights to re-sign him. So if he wants to re-sign for maybe 2 years, I think he should resign for 2 years to force the organization and put pressure on the organization to get a guy when LeBron leaves. Or just set his contract year. For example, if he signs for 2 years, he's on the same time that LeBron's contract is on, because LeBron's contract expires in 2 seasons. This season, next season, LeBron's contract expires. Maybe AD wants to do the same thing, and if LeBron subsequently decides to leave, he'll be like 38, 39 at that time. If he decides to leave, Anthony Davis won't be stuck in a Lakers organization that maybe will or would not offer him. Who knows? But it's a big gamble is what I'm saying, because we don't know who the Lakers are going to get. We don't know what the future looks like. So I signed for a 2-year deal. But anyways, the Lakers' number one priority this offseason, re-sign Anthony Davis, give him what he wants, get him here. Another thing, the Lakers need more. They need like more shooters. The shooters for the Lakers are good, but they're just not very consistent. Like Danny Green had a bad playoffs. KCP was streaky at times. He had a very good finals series though, so I'm not too worried about him. They need maybe more shooters. Maybe try and get somebody like Duncan Robinson. He's not a free agent, but who knows? You could trade for somebody like him. It doesn't have to be exactly the same person, but you need somebody who can give you a good 12 points a game from the 3-point line alone. Another thing, they need to re-sign very valuable role players that many people overlooked, but Dwight Howard was such a big part of the Lakers winning all of their series. It was ridiculous. It was crazy. Dwight Howard, he needs to stay in the Lakers organization. Same thing with Rajon Rondo. Of course, you have to re-sign Contavious. Just like I say, he had a great final series. All these role players, then you got to keep Caruso over there. All these role players had huge, they had a huge impact on the success of their team. And I really, really would love if those role players got re-signed. Maybe bring in a couple other dudes. Avery Bradley, gotta get him on a nice little new contract. I say that you re-sign the role players, you keep AD, and you get another. He doesn't have to be a superstar, but he has to be a good player. All-star level caliber player. If you get another all-star caliber player next to an aging LeBron and a prime level AD, then I believe that the Lakers won't just be a good team next year. They will be a powerhouse in the NBA for years to come. The Lakers offseason, it's gonna be up and down. All right, I don't really know what certainly that they're looking at doing, because there's not a lot of news coming out of it. They're on their little vacation. LeBron James was spotted with the trophy in Las Vegas a couple of days ago. So yeah, we don't really know how the offseason is going to go. All I can do is have fun with it. But the best possible team that they can have next year, I believe, involves Devin Booker, because you can have LeBron running the 1, Devin Booker running the 2, maybe Danny Green running the 3, or Contavious running the 3. You got AD, and then you have Dwight Howard. You also have JaVale McGee, another very valuable role player. So you have a lot of flexibility with this Lakers roster, because a lot of people can play more than one position. Of course, LeBron, I believe he can line up anywhere on the floor, whether you want him to guard your center or whether you want him to guard your point guard, whether you want him to score on either one of them. LeBron's that special player. AD can be power forward or center. Of course, you have Kyle Kuzma, who a lot of people are talking bad upon, but Kyle Kuzma is a really good player. He's like that Robert Horry type. Professional scorer. Of course, he's not the superstar that we expected him to be. The first season shooting was definitely a fluke, but I believe that not Contavious, Kyle Kuzma can still develop into a very, very good and productive NBA player. You have him, he can line up at small forward or power forward. Then you have Contavious, small forward, shooting guard. Like, there's a lot of flexibility with this roster, and that's what I love about it. Because you can get any star, put them into the lineup, and then the flexibility of the roster would immediately make that star just fit in. But that's the thing, like, that's just what I like about this team. It's so much flexibility. They can put people basically anywhere, and that's what you have to love about the Lakers. But Lakers offseason is going to be pretty eventful. This NBA offseason is going to be pretty eventful. There are even rumors about Giannis, but the Bucks have announced that they won't trade Giannis. They're not looking to trade him. They're going to see what he does with his contract, whether he signs an extension, which will make him the highest paid NBA player of all time, just in case you didn't know. A $44 million extension, highest paid NBA player of all time, and one of the highest paid athletes of all time, up there at the Patrick Mahomes, Stephen Curry, all of them. But anyways, yeah, that's it for this short video. I mean, this video is pretty short. I don't quite know what you guys expected me to say. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. The Lakers have LeBron James, who's still really good. They have prime AD. Then they have, lots of great role players that I listed. Then, they have Devin Booker. So, like I said, let me know what you think they should do. I introduced Devin Booker and Bradley Beal, but maybe you can give other ideas. So, please go in the comments. Tell me what you think they should do. This is it. This is it for the video today. Make sure to follow me on Instagram. Make sure to check out my website. Check out the other YouTube channel, Harrison's YouTube channel, which is The Breakdown. Very good channel. Him and Desmond talk about football all the time. We haven't posted in a long time because we've been forgetting. Lots of stuff's been going on. But trust me, we're gonna get back to those posts. But anyways, this is Micah Cannon. This is On the Mic. Thank you for watching.